You know, I've always believed the best way to learn is to get your hands dirty, tear things apart, figure it out, and make it better. But the truth is, balancing it all, work, family, and projects, takes grit. Some days, there's no easy path, just a storm right in front of you. This build has a ways to go. Little paint, some powder coat, and a whole lot of wrenching. So stick around and let's get after it. I don't know if you guys are going to believe this or not, but here it is, the middle of February. Yesterday we had no snow on the ground, like it was grass and everything. And then today, look at that. We finally have some snow. It's only probably a couple inches right now, but it's coming down. And it's been coming down pretty solid for a couple hours. Not big flakes yet, but if it keeps going like this, we might have 4 to 6 inches in the morning. Okay, so really quick, I'll just show you what I've done or what I had already started, and then we'll get the rest of the stuff off, get it down to where we can get the heads off and get everything prepped and ready to put back together. I have this side. I just took the valve covers off, and I'm gonna go ahead and strip the exhaust, the intake, I mean just basically everything down to the heads. We'll get all that off, get the heads off, and throw the new heads on. I'll probably paint them, and I'll probably, that's the other reason this might take more video or footage, because I'll probably go back to where I had this thing originally all cleaned up, painted, looking good. Those gotta come off. Those little clips come out in order for the fuel injection. Gosh, look at that. Hold on, I see it. Just push them back in. And then when you push them on, they just lock on. The opposite ones, the clip is on the bottom, so I'm just pushing them down. It's a flathead screwdriver. Missing a few of the caps and little rubber bases, so I'm gonna go through. You can test these injectors and everything. I haven't had an issue with any of that stuff, but I'll probably go through all of it while I'm doing it. And like these two bolts are sitting over here, so they're hard to get to. The one you could see I could get to a little easier. You just gotta have, like I said, the right tool for the right job. Obviously makes all the difference. But I gotta get those little O-rings and those caps out of there. And then we can continue just working on everything else. I want to mark my distributor because as far as the advancing and everything, all that should be good. It's just problems, like I said, I had with the heads, and I'm not sure where it is at. If there's, I want to say when I started this, oh yeah, that's right. Right here, you can see a crack in this head. Anyway, needless to say, I don't know what's going on with them. I know there's a lot of talk about these 2.9s had a lot of head issues. So manufacturers fixed a lot of those, aftermarket places, so or aftermarket companies. So that's where I got mine from, and so hopefully that'll take care of my problem that I had with my antifreeze oil, because like I said, once you start having those problems, eventually everything, shit rolls downhill, so everything just goes from there. And that's why we tried to catch this in time and hopefully be able to get everything fixed right, get it running really good, and we'll be back in business.
Like lilies you open, the fragrance goes to my head, my darling. I get everything that has been, don't matter no more. We've burned it, all those whirlwinds can't touch us no more.
And I still have this seal. That was another problem I had. You can see the oil down there, that seal was leaking. So I gotta put that seal in. I've also got a new dampener put on there. And I'll put thermostat, just basically, and the gaskets, of course. Replace everything that needs it, or, like I said, hopefully a little more preventative maintenance if I take the time and do a lot of that to get rid of a lot of that headache.
All those whirlwinds can't touch us no more. We've earned it. Everything that has been don't matter no more. We've burned it. All those whirlwinds can't touch us no more.
But you can see, like I said, it's got some issues. Hopefully we can fix all that up. Also, the firing order on this, super simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I marked them when I took them off because it just makes it that much simpler, so you're not chasing the wire back later. Just take a minute and mark them. Mark things with a marker, zip ties in order, you know what I mean? That if you zip tie, let's say you had some plumbing or your tubing, electrical, whatever you want to call it, and you weren't sure what goes where, put like a pink zip tie here and a pink zip tie here, green, orange, and so on and so forth, to just simplify it when you go back to putting everything back together. If you're not that familiar with it or don't have a manual, or of course you can always get to your mechanic shop. I have one more in the back behind that distributor that doesn't have the bolt head. It's like this with the threaded, more like a stud, where the nut goes on top to put the ground strap and everything on. So without getting too carried away, I was just trying to loosen that up, hoping I could get it up, but now I'm going to have to get the distributor out of the way. So I need to mark that. So again, as I said, the position is where it is, or where it needs to be when I reinstall everything. I got all the wiring out of the way. I've got 2 more that I think, some of these are supposed to be threaded, but over times, and a lot of these were done before I even bought this truck from the kid I bought it from, but were stripped out. So that's why you have a nut or a bolt and then a nut on the other side. And I think those 2 bottom ones that I can't quite see are the same way, so I either gotta crawl underneath and see, or see what I gotta do to get those 2 out. Then that'll swing back, and then I can start removing the heads. In fact, maybe I'll hurry and just run those bolts out really quick anyway, because I got the big boy. to move the camera and figure out how to get back there and the easiest way to mark it. Okay. Normally, you'd want to cover all this, by the way, if you were doing something more minor. I'm not trying to get all that shit in there. But, like I said, I'm replacing these, and so therefore, I'm not terribly concerned about it. It does look like I lost one of those nuts from that exhaust on this side. There we go. I have no idea which one, but anyway. And also, so what I did was just scratched a little scratch in the distributor and then back there on the block, so I can loosen that up, take it out, and then I'm going to make sure I get it in there a little bit better so that it's actually what I can grade, or if I could get a paint marker or something, but it's probably got so much crap on it. If I tried to clean it, it'd wipe all that away anyway. And I can get it close and then get it dialed in, but like I said, this is just one step to make it that much easier. When you put everything back together, chances are everything's gonna fire right up and not have any issues. And there we have it. Ugh. I just don't want any garbage in that. It's like this stuff. I don't want it to fall down through either, but I got it sitting up out of there far enough, it should be good. Oh boy, I don't know. I'm gonna pull the lifters out and I'll look at those to see if I, maybe take some measurements and tolerance and stuff on them and see if I need to look into replacing any of those or if they're okay. Like I said, anything that's, now that you're this deep into it, if there's anything that needs to be replaced, now's the time. We'll get a better look at this block, or this head too, once we get all that up out of there. Alright, let's see if we can get, and the whole idea is just gently, not trying to put too much pressure on anything. Oh, there it goes. There we go. Oh shit, what do I got here? Oh, just a gasket. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. So much for carefully, huh? All right. That'll get me to the point where now I've got to get these all cleaned up. Like I said, I will probably pull the lifters and just check tolerances and everything on those according to specs. And hopefully everything else looks pretty good. I mean, this thing has buried me with problem after problem after problem of different things. I mean, it's what? Oh, sheesh, 30 plus years old. So I'm just done. I want to just get it running and cleaned up, running, reliable. put back together, have a good little running truck. I've got so many things I want to do, and some of these things I want to get rid of, some of them I want to keep. For example, this one, I want to build this one, but I've got so much work to do on it. The motor is, I started pulling a lot of that apart, but it's got a long ways to go. I'm gonna end up pulling that whole thing out. You can see the transmission's out. I'm just gonna pull that whole thing out. So this is a big project that I do not have the time for right now. Hopefully soon, but until then, we're gonna get this little guy put back together, up and running, and then we can check this one off the list. I will have to see how much time I have in this video so far. This might be it. Yeah, you can see we had a problem with that antifreeze and oil. So, and whoever, I got this motor from a guy for dirt cheap. But anyway, I gotta clean all this stuff up. It had a cork gasket on one side and then a rubber gasket for those valve covers on the other. And I like the rubber ones, but I don't know. I've learned a trick with the cork ones that works pretty good, especially because some of these things you can't even find the rubber gaskets anymore. And there is the new heads, one of them. So I'll get all this stuff cleaned up. I'll show you really quick the intake, and then I will take a short little video of the after. But like I said, that battery acid it's just disgusting. But I'll get all that done and take a quick video of them cleaned up, and then I'll hopefully get it all in this video and wrap everything up. I put these in the ultrasonic cleaner, and I could go through with a, small brush and little small screwdriver and a towel or rag, clean everything up really good. But I'm not going to, because it's all going to get oil and everything through it the minute I put it back into the truck, and I'm not completely rebuilding this motor. I'm not getting super extensive into it. I just wanted to get a lot of this cleaned up as good as I can, like considering the situation. It's a little Ford Ranger, 2.9 liter, nothing special, but cleaning a lot of the gunk and stuff off of them while I have the ultrasonic cleaner and I had all the parts out is the best time to do it. So I'm going to wire brush some of the bigger parts and clean all them up. Maybe I'll video some of that, or I'll just do clips of kind of the before and after. And I didn't really get these, but you guys seen a lot of this stuff when I pulled everything, the valve covers and stuff from those heads to begin with. So that gives you an idea, but these ultrasonic cleaners are really nice just to really clean everything up, and I'll show you what the water and the chemical looks like. Yeah, look at that. Disgusting. But I'll hurry and pull this little tray out. And I'll show you all the bolts and everything. It's just really nice. Got a little basket. Go through and just clean everything up. So I'll take any of the stuff I cleaned them off, kind of wiped them down before I put them in. Some of them I cleaned a little better than that because I needed more. But for the most part, I'm just going through and getting a lot of the gunk and oily crap off of them. The rest isn't going to matter to a certain point because, like I said, once they go back in that motor and everything, that oil and everything starts cycling through, they'll be all filthy and crap anyway. that is how you clean it. Now all I got to do is just wipe that out. I might wipe it down with a little bit of chemical, but for the most part it should wipe right out. And there's the gunk that was left in it. There you go. Just wiped it out. Now I'm gonna put some water in it to mix with the chemical so it's ready for next time. Just so it's diluted pretty close. It's about 2 gallons. But I'm gonna run a little bit through this hose and try to keep everything flushed out all the way through, even the hose. Not very much. It's hot water, but just enough to keep everything cleaned out. All right, I was gonna show you what I've got done. Some of the stuff I can't powder coat because of the oven. So these, like some of these that I've just cleaned up, I might just put a clear coat on them. Some of them I'll just put, you know, a little rattle can paint. But the others, I'll powder coat. Some of these that are off the fuel injection valve covers. Sandblasted those, cleaned them up. No more junk and garbage. And then there's the intakes and the upper and lower. So now all I got to do is get everything wiped down, and I'll powder coat what I can, and then, like I said, just rattle can or clear coat some of the other stuff. And the heads, same thing, I just got to wipe them down. Obviously I'll just rattle can those. So that's where we're at this point for this video.
There are a lot of voices drowning in the sea.
We got some good snow last night, or last night. Wow. Considering we had grass, 12 plus hours, well, somewhere around there, 12 hours ago. Look at it now. We've probably got 6-8 inches. That's just a good pile I shoveled. But there you can see on the picnic table. Yeah, we finally got what we should have probably received back in December. But it's here now for a minute. We'll see how long it lasts, or if it melts right away. I don't know, it'll be interesting. I still think it's close to 6 inches or so, but yeah, it says, move Nelly. That shows about 8. So like I said, maybe it's closer to 8, but we got quite a bit. These girls are loving it, huh? Get her. Go play. Go play. Go play. Get her, Nelly. Nelly, get her. Every project has its challenges, the snags, the setbacks, the moments where things just don't go as planned, and that's life too. Sometimes you've got to take a step back, breathe, and push through. I've always loved teaching myself new things and pushing for improvement, but let's be real, grinding on these projects, balancing work, fatherhood, and filming takes time. And we all hit those moments where we feel stretched thin. That's when we need to be the buffalo. Push harder, move stronger, and charge straight into the storm until we've weathered it out. Because we all know it's always better just on the other side of the grind. I appreciate you all being here, grinding through the work with me. If this video gave you some motivation, ideas, or just an idea to push and tackle through your own projects, hit that like button, subscribe, and if you haven't already, drop a comment to let me know what you think. As always, friends, I'll see you on the next one. Until then, God bless.